Hello and welcome back to Fairweather Trains. Today we're going to have a quick look at this vintage Rivarossi Cab Forward from either 1970 or 1974. The box I've got is a bit mushed up, so I can't see the proper catalogue number, but it's definitely one of them two. And I originally got this from eBay some time ago, described as an excellent runner. Well, the first time I tried to run it, it was terrible. It actually ran like a bicycle with triangular wheels. It was awful. So I thought, well, I don't want to send it back because I did get it for a good price. So I stripped it down and found that someone had tried to DCC fit it and there was wires all over the place. So once I stripped all that out, it cured it of all the problems it had. In fact, it did make it a better runner. So let's have a look at that straight away. Actually, we'll just give it a few volts. Lovely and smooth and quiet. I love the valve gear on this. It's really good. Let's bring it back the other way. Get it back in picture. When you think how old this is, all those wheels, and probably the running it's had in the past, I don't think that's bad. Let's just zoom out a bit so we can see the whole thing. Yeah, it runs really well now. We'll just do a close up on some of the detail. Obviously, being this old, it's mainly moulded, but good quality moulding. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Separately fitted wire handrails. There's some extra bits to fit on this in the box, but I'm not sure if there were extra parts to fit or it's bits that's fallen off. You can never tell with something this old. Let's get it off the track and have a better look. So you can see from the front there, it's got a working light there. Just a yellow bulb. Not very bright, as you can imagine. And like a lot of these older big Rivarossi things, the motor's in the cab there. You could probably just see it there through the windows. Yeah, obviously no crew and no glazing. We've got some front bogie there, sprung. You can see the moulding's pretty good considering how old we're talking. And on the back, got some more pumping gear and the walkway that goes between the loco and the tender, and just the one sprung bogie on the back. Obviously these wire handrails are all separately fitted. But yeah, there's good quality moulding on these, little ladder there. There's the double chimney there with some other bits and pieces there. I'm not sure what they are. Yep, very nice. And it's got the articulated bits in the middle. I don't know if we can see that very well. Let's just adjust the light a bit. So that it'll go around Well, it goes around second radius. I'm not trying it with first. That's better. Get better light there. And you can see that piece there and that piece there. That's where the drive shafts come down. Because what you've got is the motor in the cab and a shaft that comes out there and drives a vertical gearbox down to these wheels. And then from there, there's another shaft which does the same thing up this end. So I wouldn't say they're all driven. They might be, I'm not sure actually. But you can't turn any of them. So yeah, at least this set and the equivalent on the other end are driven. Some of these older ones have got traction tyres. I'm not sure if this has. But yeah, there we are, there's one there. Yeah, a couple of traction tyres. It's Rivarossi were good. Their traction tyres were clear, so they're hard even to see right there on that wheel. And also they're the originals, so they don't just rot, collapse and perish after a year or two. They're still going strong. Definitely ahead of their time, I think, Rivarossi, one of my favourites. These and Fleischmann must have been the kings of plastic moulding back in the day. But there we go, just the motor in the cab and no glazing, I guess, is the problem. But you can't really see it, can you, unless you look closely. As I've said before, these Rivarossis, the motors must be bomb-proof, because I've got a few of these bigger engines of theirs and some more normal ones. They've all got what it looks like the same motor in them, and they all run beautifully. And not even that noisy once you give a bit of lubrication. And now we're going to do the trickiest bit, which is put it back on the track. Certainly could do with a re-railer for these. Just see if that's on. Yeah, it sounds all right. Have a quick look at the tender. Quite light, the tenders. 12 wheel tenders, bogeyed tenders. So pretty light, no pickups on these, at least not on this one. Decent moulding. That's a light that doesn't do anything. Yeah, not a lot to these. That's not to say they're not prototypical, but they're pretty light. But they knew how to use wire, as you can see, with various handrails and bits and bobs on there. Not entirely convinced that's the original coupling, the old horn hook. Doesn't look quite right, does it? Most of my other Rivarossis have the old European hook and loop coupling. 4272. So yeah, it's just a simple hook on. You can have it closely coupled as well if you want, if you feel that way inclined. Let's just see if I can get this on. That might be on. Let's test it. Yeah, I think that's on. I love the wheel design on these. I don't know what you call that type of wheel, but looks a bit like the box pop type wheels on Clan Line, for example. All the connecting rods and the moving parts are lovely. As you can tell, it is pretty quiet. I think what we'll do is we'll send it round and see how it gets on my curves and over some second radius points and crossings. So let's do that. Don't think you can argue about that. That's nice and smooth. I think what we'll do is see if it'll go up the slope. Probably will with the traction tyres, but we'll give it a go. I think we've got a wheel off. Let's have a look. Well, that's cut out, that's handy. Probably because I need to change controller. Well, it had no problem getting up there, did it? Once I got the controller sorted out. I really should sort out my controllers properly before I try this. I wasn't expecting to do it, I wasn't planning to do it, but there you go. I'll remember that next time. Different controller to go up the hill. Anyway, we'll bring her back round. So we'll have another last look at her. As I say, I love the wheels, the running gear, and it's also beautifully smooth. Won't be to everybody's taste, I realise that, but it is eye-catching, I guess is the word, because it's so different. A, it's huge, and of course it's HO gauge, and it just looks odd going backwards. Looks like it's going backwards. So there you go, that's just a quick look at the Rivarossi Cab Forward. Like all these old Rivarossis, I definitely recommend them if it's your thing. Even if they don't run that well, they're pretty easy to work on. And the motors are really good. So we'll leave this one there. Thank you very much for watching. And we'll see you in the next one where we'll try and have something else a bit different. Bye for now.